This week's parsha, Parshas Shmini, speaks about the death of Aaron's two eldest sons, Nadav and Abihu, for some sin which is not totally clear. The psukim tell us, "Vayikrivu l'fnei Hashem eish zara." They brought before God a strange fire, asher lo tzivah osam, that they were not commanded to bring. Nonetheless, Rashi gives two explanations as to what was wrong with this. Number one is that they paskin halacha, that they came up with Jewish law in front of Moshe. Moshe was their teacher, and he was the one who had the rights and the obligation to say what the law was. And Nadav and Avihu somehow co-opted that right and decided Jewish law on their own. Rashi's second explanation is that they drank wine before bringing this fire, and that's what they did incorrectly. The Midrashim bring even other opinions. Whatever it is, however, Nadav and Avihu were punished with their lives on the day before the start, or the day of the start of the Mishkan's functioning. Surprisingly, perhaps, Moshe tells Aaron that he knew this was going to happen. Right? So, Vayomer Moshe Aaron, Moshe says to Aaron, "Hu asher diber Hashem." This is what Hashem spoke of, saying, "Bikrovai ekadesh." Amongst those who I am close to, I will be sanctified, and therefore, on the face of the entire nation, I will be honored. Exactly what this means is not so clear. What does it mean? So Rashi tells us that Moshe tells Aaron, I knew that one of us was going to die. I thought it was going to be me. I thought it was going to be you. I knew that the house, that the Mishkan, the tabernacle, was going to be sanctified with one who was knowledgeable, known by God. And I thought it was going to be me or you. Now I see that Nadav and Abihu were even greater. Exactly what this means is not clear. Are they really greater than Moshe and Aaron? Okay, let's put that one. I'll push that one off for the moment. Nonetheless, Moshe seems to be telling us that the way that the Mishkan, the way that the tabernacle was to be sanctified, was with the death of those who were close to God. And the nation, upon seeing how seriously God took the Mishkan, how important it was, such that even those who were close to him would be killed should they violate a proponent of the law, or they violate some aspect of the law having to do with the Mishkan. So that would bring honor to the Mishkan and bring honor to God amongst the nation, because they would see how serious this is, and then from then on they would take the Mishkan as a place where one has to be holy, where one has to be tahor, where one has to be careful, a place that is not trivial, but a place that in which actually God resides. We see another example of this later on in the Torah. Again, we have a sin which was unclear, and that, of course, is the sin of Moshe and Aaron themselves. Right? Moshe and Aaron are punished for what they did b'mei meriva. The Rishonim there, of course, have a discussion as to exactly what it was that Moshe, let's say, did wrong. Did they hit the rock? Did they call the Jewish people a rebellious nation? Whatever it is, the Torah actually tells us what they did wrong, not what they did by action, but what the consequence of their action was. So if you look in the end of Parshas Azinu, Hashem tells Moshe, "You are not going to enter the land of Israel, because as it were, you rebelled against me amongst the Jews in Mei Meriva, because you did not sanctify me amongst the Jewish people," implying that had Moshe not done what was wrong, Hashem would have been sanctified. Okay, so what's the proper punishment for someone who misses the opportunity, at least for Moshe Rabbeinu, who misses the opportunity to sanctify Hashem? So he has to sanctify Hashem through a different way. And that sanctification comes by Moshe's inability to enter the land of Israel. And by doing so, we have a similar context as to what happened with the Mishkan. Just like the Mishkan was made holy, as it were, and the people honored the Mishkan because of the death of Nadav and Abihu, so too the people will learn about the holiness, about the special character of Eretz Yisrael, of the land of Israel, by the fact that Moshe himself was unable to enter. Of course, we are today's. I'm doing this on Friday morning, so it's the day after Yom HaShoah. The connection between the Holocaust and the birth of the state of Israel, of course, is one that's one that has with it many theological and moral pitfalls, and I don't want to in any way connect the two, but simply to note that because of the Holocaust, 6 million Jews did not have the opportunity to enter the land of Israel. They did not have the opportunity to visit the land of Israel. They did not have the opportunity to see the land of Israel. 6 million Kedoshim, 6 million holy souls were unable to do something that we can now do practically whenever we want, minus COVID. And that should speak about the holiness of the land of Israel, about the importance of the land of Israel, how we should not take it as something obvious, that you should not take it trivially. However, it is a place to look to, a place to look towards for holiness and sanctification. Have a good Shabbos.